Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's Cassie G. A little bit of information about me. I am 21 years old. I live in an apartment with my wonderful boyfriend Vibe and our little kitty cat Sky. She is a year old. We do not currently have any kids at the moment. We moved into our first apartment of April this past year, so that was pretty great. Living together is a big adventure and we enjoy it. I am more of an outdoor person than an indoor person, so for a little while my videos might be a little scarce and they might not be edited very well because I usually am outside or I'm working and I'm really bad at technology. Well, I do have a syndrome called POTS. It stands for Postural Orthostatic Tachycardia Syndrome. I am going to read to you a little bit about POTS, so I'm going to be looking at another screen while I tell you a little bit about it, but before I look at the screen I'll give you like a breakdown of a couple of things. POTS is abbreviated into POTS. P for postural, O for orthostatic, T for tachycardia, S for syndrome. Postural means change in position, which also kind of deals with the orthostatic part. Tachycardia is when your heart races fast, and a syndrome is not really a disease because they're separated. A syndrome can have a multitude of symptoms, where a disease usually has a select few. So I'm going to look at my screen now and tell you a little bit about it. If you look up POTS, according to the Cleveland Clinic, it says that POTS is a condition that affects circulation, which is blood flow, and it involves the autonomic nervous system. Now, your autonomic nervous system controls blood flow, your vital bodily functions, and you have a sympathetic nervous system, and that activates your fight or flight response. Well, mine goes more towards the automatic controls. So saying that, your heart rate and blood pressure are affected because your heart and your blood pressure weren't keeping your blood flowing at a steady pace in your body. My body can't do that. So what mine does is it can't balance the way my blood vessels work. So basically, your blood vessels are supposed to squeeze and release, squeeze and release. Mine don't do that, and your heart responds to that. So that leads to tachycardia and my bradycardia. Now, with POTS, the symptoms can come and go, and everyone can have different symptoms. So you can't go in and say, like when you have a cold, you can't really say, oh, I have a cough, I don't feel good, and my eyes are watery. And they're like, oh, that's a cold. With POTS, there's thousands of symptoms you can have, and no one will have the same one. So it's really hard to get diagnosed. With POTS, there are 3 different kinds. I can tell you about my POTS for a little while. I do have a classified POTS, but I'm not really in any of those 3 categories. So the way my POTS is my whole body's affected. So when I first got diagnosed, I started out with having really fast heart rate, dizziness, lightheaded, nausea, and a headache all the time. I was fatigued so bad that I could barely get out of bed. Just walking from my bedroom to the bathroom would make me pass out or make me close to passing out. My heart rate, usually for a normal person resting, is like 60 to 70. It could be a little less if you're an athlete, but most people is 60, 70, 80. Well, my heart rate resting is around 120 beats per minute to 130 beats per minute. So imagine having that resting heart rate and trying to walk or exercise because it goes up. So a normal person after exercising is 120 or 130, and mine hits 160 to 180, which is not good. It's pretty dangerous for your heart rate to be that high. I did have, and I still do have, swelling on my legs and feet. My feet and legs are usually always cold to touch because I don't get the blood circulation that I need, so I have to wear compression socks. I also have eye symptoms, so I have really a dry eye and my eyes have trouble focusing a lot. So in this video, if you see me like my eyes kind of spazzing out, I can't tell they're spazzing out, but I can, sometimes it bothers me with my vision, but it's really rare I can tell. I also have problems with like dry mouth sometimes, headaches, dizziness, lightheadedness. That happens to me a lot. Joint pain. I did not know that joint pain was included in POTS, and it is. Before I was diagnosed with POTS, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And it's really rare, people think, for a young person to get fibromyalgia, and it is. It's not as common, but POTS can be misdiagnosed. A couple of other problems I do have problems with my kidneys now. I found out my kidneys don't work as well as they used to, mainly because of the blood volume and the blood circulation problems. It's not getting where it needs to be. I have problems with blood pressure. A lot of times my blood pressure or skyrocket. So there have been times when my blood pressure has been like 190 over 90, and then there's been times when my blood pressure has been like 84 over 58. So it kind of fluctuates. A lot of times my blood pressure causes me to pass out. It's been really rare since I've seen a specialist, but it was causing me to pass out. It's causing me not to be able to get out of bed. It was miserable. So that's telling you a little bit of my symptoms, but I'm going to read off a couple of other symptoms you can have that are more common. Now, there are thousands of symptoms, but a lot of people usually suffer from 2 or more of these, not just 1, 2 or more. And a lot of times you can have all. So you have high or low blood pressure, high or low heart rate, chest pain, dizziness, lightheadedness, fainting or near fainting, exhaustion, abdominal pain and bloating, temperature deregulation, so you're either hot and cold, back and forth, like hot flashes, only you're 20 years old. Blurred vision, dry eye, headaches and body pain, can feel like the flu, insomnia, awaking from sleep, chest pain, racing heart rate during sleep, excessive sweatiness in sleep, shakiness and tremors with adrenaline surges, discolorations of hands and feet, exercise intolerance, excessive or lack of sweating, and diarrhea or constipation. So, POTS is like a multitude of things. So normally if you go to your doctor and you say, hey, I'm tired, I have a fever some days and I'm cold sometimes, so chills is what they call that. So chills, and I'm tired and my body hurts. They're going to be like, oh, you have the flu. You could have POTS. I mean, it's really rare for you to get that once and have POTS. Most of the time, POTS people feel this continuously. My story will be covered more in the first video. I'm not going to do it here because it's too long for an intro. So that's a little bit of a rundown of like what POTS is, but I'll go into more of that as well. I am hoping that this spreads awareness. I'm hoping that not only people can unite here who have POTS and have other similar disorders that are rare, but also that the general public can understand what POTS is, and so that they can realize that just because someone looks fit and active and young doesn't mean that they're not suffering. You can be young and have a handicap tag and be able to walk. You can be young and have a debilitating disease and still have your hair. I mean, it just ranges. There's just certain things that you have to realize being young and being sick, or people are going to judge you for, even though your doctor's making you do it. Because at this point, with POTS, there's no cure for it. It's just treatments, but they don't work 100%. You will live with POTS and you will fight with POTS every single day of your life. And you eventually are going to have to learn to deal with it. And that's what this is going to be about. This is a day in life with Cassie. My life can be boring sometimes. I'm going to try not to share the boring parts with you as much. But I do want to share some of my struggles as well as some of my triumphs and exciting moments with POTS and how I live day to day without it affecting me, and when it does affect me, so that you know what happens. I hope that you hit subscribe, and I hope you stick around. But I also wanted to let you know this channel will have fun things, like there'll be giveaways, we'll do shopping hauls, we'll do how-tos, DIYs, cooking, you name it, we'll do it. If you'll put it in the comment section stating that's what you want, then I don't mind doing a video on it. We'll probably even have some gaming things for the guys, because of course Vibe, my boyfriend, is a gamer. He has a Twitch and a YouTube. I plan on putting him in the about section in the description, so that if you feel like it, you can follow him and watch some of his things. I think he's amazing because I love him with all of my heart. And I hope that you guys follow both of us and you enjoy our lives. And we hope to see you on our second videos.